Welcome everyone to the review of every single Just Dance game. At least the main ones. I hope you didn't expect something like the China or Japan exclusive games or something. So that's Just Dance 1 to 2023 with 2 extra songs best of and Michael Jackson The Experience added on as a bonus. I have those games as well, so why not? Here's my full collection. I have pre-Just Dance 4 games on the Wii, the ones between 4 and 2019 on the Wii U, and games since 2019 on the Switch. I do own Just Dance 2019 on both Wii U and Switch, but this video will only have the Switch version. This video will be long enough as it is, so without further ado, let's dive into this passion project of mine. Just Dance 1 was the first game in the series all the way back from 2009, and it shows. It doesn't have the X, OK, good, super, perfect, yeah scale we're used to now. Instead there's only X, OK and great, which is only used in this game. And the tracking is goddamn awful, to put it lightly. Like, we all know that the Wii remote isn't that accurate, but this takes inaccurate to a whole another level. No matter how perfectly you try, it seemingly gives the scores at random. Like you're gonna score more X's than anything else, probably. There are actually songs that haven't been ported to Just Dance Unlimited or Just Dance Plus ever since Just Dance 1, such as Can Get You Out of My Head, Surfing Bird, Jerk It Out, Wannabe, and a few others. Those 4 are the only reason to still own a Just Dance 1 in my opinion. Wannabe was going to be ported to Just Dance Plus, but Ubisoft didn't feel like it, so they ported 2 other songs instead. Interestingly, Just Dance 1 doesn't run in 4x3 or in 16:9, but something between those. It also has an option where you only play a portion of a song. That is to say that after about a third of the song plays, it abruptly ends, gets cut off, and you're done. There's this challenge mode that's only ever useful if you have friends. There's a regular mode, a red light green light mode, and a make the least mistakes with the shitty tracking mode. In red light green light mode you can actually lose a score when you're supposed to stand still. What a fucking great combo with the shit tracking, right? There are also shake moves instead of gold moves, which not all the songs have, by the way. Yeah, I know it's hard to imagine a Just Dance without gold moves, but those weren't in Just Dance 1, only Just Dance 2 and afterwards. Speaking of Just Dance 2, let's talk about that. Oh, right, the score. Since this is a review after all, or more like 17 reviews in one, kinda. So Just Dance 1 gets an 18 out of 100 from me because it has some good songs, but that's about it. There's some joy to find in this, but certainly not that much. No sweat mode or anything else, just quick play and challenge mode, which is only a challenge because of the tracking, which is just the worst. Okay, Just Dance 2. This has the worst song selection in the entire series in my opinion. There are only like 5 songs I like. However, the good score and the gold moves are here. And the tracking is much better, usually getting a perfect or a good. Just like in Just Dance 2023. Also, Just Dance 2 was the first game in the series to get DLCs, and there was a ton of it. However, since the Wii Shop channel isn't around anymore, they are no longer available. This is also the first game that we see Ubisoft removing features for no reason, such as the challenge modes. They have been replaced with Free for All and Team Battle, which sound boring at first, but actually have Simon Says and medleys and stuff. Hopefully I don't have to explain what Simon Says is. Medleys are basically 5 or 6 songs smashed together and they get switched out, so it's kinda like mashups but actually fun. I'm gonna get everyone mad at me for that statement. There's also a sort of sweat mode. You don't get to see how many calories you've burned, you get sweat points instead, whatever they actually mean. With this personally underwhelming song list and removed features, Just Dance 2 gets a 19 out of 100. The tracking is way nicer, but everything else has become worse. The definition of literally the title. This is the exact same thing as Just Dance 2, only with some, not all, of the DLC songs of Just Dance 2, except that there's no song downloads or medley mode. Aside from that, it's literally the exact same. I don't want to give a score for this game because essentially it's the same game but with other songs, so no score. The song list is a big improvement though, so if I gave it a score it would be a 32 out of 100. Just Dance 3 is a huge one-up on Just Dance 2. Just Dance 3 has slightly improved tracking, better songs, Simon Says mashups, which I don't like but a lot of people do, and the very first extreme in the series for Barbra Streisand, which you can unlock with the Konami code. It also has the sweat points kind of sweat mode, but you can combine it with Simon Says. And a fun fact I discovered is that Simon Says is essentially a point farm. Every activity you have to do can give up to 1000 points, except stop of course. So you can get 5 stars halfway through a song and even get 20k and above, which I think is the first and only time you can get above 13k, but correct me if I'm wrong. There are no medleys anymore, but there are playlists to compensate. You can't create your own though. Also, you can select which coach you want to play as when playing a duet, which you couldn't do in Just Dance 2, I think. Sweat and Hold My Hand choreos also make their debut in Just Dance 3. I kinda wish they were still around. So with a great song list, an extreme and more modes than before, I give Just Dance 3 an 82 out of 100. This is by far the best value Just Dance game for the Wii. I wish I could say literally the title, but it's far from the best of the games so far. I mean, where the hell is Can Get You Out of My Head, or Maniac, or Video Kill the Radio Star, and I could go on for a while. Besides, this game only retains Simon Says. There are no unlockables or playlists. There's little reason to own this game. There are some songs that were DLC to the previous ones, but that's about it. Therefore, Just Dance Best Of gets a 20 out of 100. It's better than Just Dance 2, and here I thought that's gonna be the bottom of the pile. Before we dive into the games I have on the Wii U, let's take a look at Michael Jackson The Experience. Unsurprisingly, the song list is full of Michael Jackson songs, which you won't hear as background music because I'm paranoid I'll get a copyright strike. Anyways, there are no extra modes, no sweat mode, just regular mode for some Michael Jackson songs. I myself only like a few of them, but I'm sure there are tons of people who like this song list much better. The choreos, however, are quite fun, and the tracking is by far the best from the Wii games. As you can see, the interface is a bit different, but you can still navigate easily. What I don't get is the lyrics. First off, every word is capitalized for some reason, which is the lesser weird thing. Second, in They Don't Care About Us, Ubisoft censored the words Jew and kike. Kike being an offensive term for a Jewish person, if you didn't know. So I get why they censored kike, but since when is Jew a swear word? And better question, since when is raping not a swear word? Because that wasn't censored. And you can't say that they used the clean version because I checked, kike and raping are in the clean version as well, so what the hell, Ubisoft? Maybe it's another case of the team wasn't allowed to Google the lyrics or something, since innocent somehow became in the suite. Anyway, as for the score, the song list is fine, but I would expect at least a sweat mode, even though this isn't a Just Dance game by strict definition. Michael Jackson, The Experience, gets a 60 out of 100. Here we are in 720p on the Wii U. Let me start by saying Just Dance 4 has a lot of good songs that haven't been in Just Dance Unlimited or Just Dance Plus. And also it has regional exclusives that stayed regional exclusives. By that I mean, for example, Call Me Maybe Extreme isn't available in Europe, which is a shame because it looks so fun but I can't play it. There's a sweat mode that's different from that of previous games. Here you increase the intensity of the Wii remote, moving until you hit an arbitrary goal and kinda chill when it wants you to, except it's barely accurate because the tracking is garbage in Just Dance 4. You mostly get okays or goods, barely any perfects, and this intensity just goes around randomly as it feels like. Oh, and you can't play anything you want. You can select between a few presets and that's about it. There's no playlists either. Just Dance 4 is the first game that the versus mode was in, so that's a plus, I guess. And also there are dance quests. They are these little missions that you can do for songs, but there's a really confusing one. Get good when something is sung or being done. Do they mean get good or better? Never understood that. Why would you intentionally get good when you can get perfect? At least the get good part is right. The song list is stellar, but the lack of features and the version tracking do not make up for that. So Just Dance 4 gets a 58 out of 100. From Just Dance 2014, the series transitioned into years counting up instead of the number of the game counting up. It got a new menu and a new pretty decent song list, and some DLC songs. The sweat mode is the way we now know it, or at least used to until Just Dance 2023 removed it. It counts calories for you, not sweat points. Now there's a shit ton of mashups to my displeasure, but battles are still here along with Party Master and the new on-stage choreos, which are just normal-ish choreos on a stage as a background. The tracking is still on the meh side, but is improved from Just Dance 4 for sure. And the beloved by everyone except me, World Dance Floor debuted in Just Dance 2014 as well, but that doesn't work anymore. There's not that much to say about this game, so I'll give it a 70 out of 100. Just Dance 2015 is Just Dance 2014, but with different songs, without a sweat mode, and with playlists. But there is a calorie counter, just not a sweat mode. The song list is much better than Just Dance 2014's in my opinion, but there's no sweat mode, kind of. So Just Dance 2015 gets a 75 out of 100. Just Dance 2016 has a fucking shit ton of modes to enjoy, or at least they made it seem that way, because sweat and playlists aren't in the regular game mode and stuff. But there are some new things, such as the World Video Challenge, where you compete against someone whilst recording yourself on the Kinect/PS camera/Wii U gamepad. Or take the revival of Dance Quests, although it's more like a playlist where you have to overtake some bot scores. But still, it's nice to have back. It's quite fun actually. The tracking isn't too bad with the Wii remote and the song list is decent as well, so Just Dance 2016 gets a solid 70 out of 100 as well. Just Dance 2017 is pretty much Just Dance 2016 but without some modes. There are also some notable differences, however. There's a Just Dance Machine mode which is like Sweat but on drugs. You have these two fucking creepy aliens who do experiments on you by making you dance to public domain songs for like 30 seconds without pictos, and you collect dance energy instead of score. And also Just Dance 2017 introduced the Superstar score, which has been in every game since, and can be achieved by scoring 11k points on a choreo. And by the way, the World Dance Floor still works, and probably Just Dance Unlimited as well, but I'm not buying a subscription to test it out. Fun fact, Just Dance 2017 is the only game that got a PC release. It's still available on Steam. Many people play modded Just Dance 2017 and don't buy newer games. Overall, Just Dance 2017 is a damn fine game. I honestly don't know whether I would choose this or Just Dance 2016 as a better game, since they are quite similar, but I do like 2017's song list a bit more, so Just Dance 2017 gets a 72 out of 100. Just Dance 2018 is again similar to its two predecessors and with less features, of course. Now you only have kids, regular mode and the World Dance Floor. There's the Dance Lab, which is the same as the Just Dance machine but without the creepy as fuck aliens. The most important addition, however, is the Megastar score. I love these additions because Superstar keeps me motivated, unlike Good, and Megastar is just as damn satisfying to score as Superstar. They should add a new score for 13k though. If it were to happen, I would call it something like Gigastar, and the stars would be neon scarlet red with a yellow outline. Oh, and there's the reindeer everyone simped at the time, I guess. Controversial opinion, fuck the reindeer. And the Wii U version likes to lag quite a bit in the menus, but the tracking is pretty decent actually. Fun fact, Just Dance 2018 was my first game of the series, and my first song was Despacito, normal version, and I scored some 11k points on my first try. And my first 13k was probably Blue, but I'm not sure. By the way, am I the only one who thinks that the score UI is a bit too large? Just Dance 2018 has a decent song list, but removed so many features, improved the tracking, but worsened the game's performance, so I'll give Just Dance 2018 a 65 out of 100. Finally, we arrive at the Switch. We'll get through these ones pretty fast. We get a new rounded menu without a dark mode for some fucking reason, and the sorting every game should have catalog. Just Dance 2019 songs alphabetically, then Just Dance Unlimited songs alphabetically, the way it should be. Also, there are 6 extremes, which I'm very happy about, and Drake's Nice for What got removed after like a week from release because of copyright issues. Also, I spotted another case of Ubisoft censorship in Mad Love. The lyrics, "Girl, your legs look the best when I'm spreading the two apart," aren't censored, but misinterpreted as "Girl, you light up the place when I'm spreading the two apart," which doesn't even make sense. The Joy-Cons have really good tracking, so that won't be an issue until Just Dance 2023. The song list is decent as well. There are no extra modes, though no, that annoying vending machine doesn't count. So Just Dance 2019 gets a 75 out of 100. Just Dance 2020, released in 2019, was the 10th year anniversary of the series, so there's a new All-Stars mode with one song from each game, up until Just Dance 2020 and some cutscenes. There's also a recommended for you row on the top in the songs tab, which sadly can't be removed. Also, this is the only game so far in which the word damn wasn't censored. I was hopeful at the time that they would allow more light swears eventually, but nope. Damn has no damn place in future games either. Otherwise, the same game but with different songs. Better ones, that is. 80 out of 100. Just Dance 2021 is Just Dance 2020 without the All-Stars mode and, unfortunately, with the dreadful fucking pertinence sorting. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty much randomized songs, and sometimes when it feels like it randomizes them again. So it's impossible to find anything. Worst thing is, it wasn't in the game for a few days after release. We had catalog. Why remove something and replace it with something far worse? Aside from that fucking downgrade, it's the same thing really. I would have given it a no out of 100 just because of the pertinence sorting, but it does have a great song list, so 75 out of 100. With a note on the side saying beware pertinence. Same thing as Just Dance 2021, but with a different song list. This one also suffers from the a Ubisoft original and pertinence sorting plagues, but has the most extremes to date, which I'm very much happy about. And no official choreos don't count. 72 out of 100. And this is where we are now. I made a review just on Just Dance 2023, so if you would like to know more detailed info, check that out, link in the description. But here's the gist. Ubisoft clearly rushed this game, removing features like sweat, beat vibrations, game stability, added a fucking atrocious gold move, there's broken tracking, and so on. However, like a month or two ago, beat vibrations were re-added, though it's a bit strong for my liking, and tracking was made to be more strict. The song list isn't that bad, although there are way more K-pop than I'd like. At least some of them have good extremes. And they ditched Just Dance Unlimited for Just Dance Plus, which is literally the same damn thing but with 600 less songs. They think they can fool us to pay for the same thing to which they can re-add everything and we wouldn't notice. As if. Side note, I really like that they added some Eurovision songs to Just Dance Plus. I really do. But can't the crowd just shut the fuck up? I can't hear the goddamn song. Just pick up Just Dance 2022 instead. For the time being at least. That is much better value. Disappointing, but I'll give Just Dance 2023 a 55 out of 100. And that's it. Every Just Dance game in my possession reviewed. I really do love this series, but in my opinion it's been on a downward spiral since Just Dance 2023 released. Actually, since they introduced pertinence and haven't done much about the World Dance Floor hackings. I would say that I'm hopeful that something's gonna change for the better, but at this point I'm really not. Also, I haven't even spoken about how much I hate official choreos and when people get fucking wild when they hear about them getting added to a game. But let's save that for a Mici rant. In my opinion, right now, Just Dance 2022 is the best value game, especially with a Just Dance Unlimited subscription, but obviously you're not gonna get the new songs. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Comment your takes on the games and my review of them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye everyone.